Alright, y'all, so I'm going to do a recipe I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and that is I am going to crock-pot a whole chicken. I don't know why, I just wanted to do it. So, you're going to need a whole chicken. Onion. I'm going to put potatoes and carrots in with mine. Seasonings you're going to need are rosemary, thyme, celery flakes, black pepper. I'm going to use California onion. I know I'm using a whole onion, but this also has parsley in it. You're going to need some garlic, one of my favorites, and you're going to need some chicken broth. I'm going to make my own. You also need olive oil. If you don't want to use olive oil, you can use butter. I just don't like using a lot of dairy in some of my stuff, so I'm going to use some olive oil. So first thing I'm going to do is we're going to make a mixture that's going to go in the bottom of the crock pot. I am going to cook this on high. You can do it on low for 8 hours. I'm doing mine on high for 6. So, mixture first. Alright guys, so first we're going to make the mixture. First thing we're going to do is make our chicken broth. I use chicken base. You need 1 teaspoon, to 1 cup of water to make the 1 cup of broth that we need. So I've got my 1 teaspoon. I'm going to pour that over it, and I'm going to let that sit there. It will come off. And the reason I prefer chicken base is because you can literally make as much as you want. You can use that or better than bouillon. It's all the same stuff. Now we're going to add in our spices. So, got my handy dandy measuring spoon. Everybody loves this. I get asked a lot. I got it at Spice and Tea. It has a tablespoon and a teaspoon. So, we are going to put in 1 teaspoon of thyme. There's our thyme. I always wish I had more time. No, I'm just kidding. Celery flakes. So celery flakes, you can add as much or as little as you want. Since I need a teaspoon, I'm gonna actually put in a tablespoon. Because celery, I think, adds great flavor to it, although I think it's absolutely useless as an actual vegetable if it's whole. Rosemary, you only want about a half. I know, this looks asinine what I'm doing. I promise this is the right thing to do. Shake, shake, shake. So, we equal to about a half a teaspoon. If you like rosemary like I do, a couple extra shakes is fine. All right, and then California onion. This one is potent, so I'm gonna add a little bit less than a teaspoon because I'm also using real actual onion, so only about a half. But it has parsley in it, so that's why I like using that one. And then for the black pepper, I'm gonna use about a half as well, if I can get my thing open. Really? You're not even gonna pour into my thing? Fine, we'll just do shakes. Am I actually out of black pepper? No, there it comes. Fun part about having recipes is it feels like there's stuff in there and then you're like, oops, I'm out. Okay. Then our last ingredient is our garlic. You can use like fresh garlic. I'm lazy. I don't want to take the time to roast it, mash it. This works for me. So, as a garlic lover, I'm gonna use that teaspoon aside, and I'm gonna use a heaping teaspoon. Now, I'm gonna dig my little, oh really? You would fall all the way in. I'm gonna spin it around with that. Now we have to add our olive oil. It smells really good. Since this fell in. You wanna add a little bit more than a drizzle, because you want, this is really what you're gonna coat the chicken with, but you want the chicken to stay moist. So about like that. We're gonna start up again because we know olive oil and water, any kind of oil and water don't really mix. So now that we have our seasoning, it's time to actually prepare the chicken. All right, so we have our chicken. We are going to open it. I got the Greenwise natural young whole blah 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 chicken. There's a lot of juice in this, that's why I still have it in the bag. I'm gonna cut it to let the air in. I'm just gonna slit it down the front. It's okay if you accidentally cut the skin in this process. It does not matter. Okay. So this is our little chicken. Now we're gonna pat it dry with paper towels because you need to have it completely dry. Oh, that's a gross sound. Ooh, sorry. The chicken is fighting back. Okay, so we're gonna pat it dry. It's kind of like doing a turkey on Thanksgiving. The other reason I have the bag is kind of to protect my counter. So, pat it dry. Let it leak out. Okay. Don't forget its little armpits. Okay. Lots of paper towels for this process. Okay, once you pat it dry, you're just gonna move it to a plate. All right, so now that we have our chicken saved, I've got onion that I've cut up. By the way, this is why I recommend always having a pair of gloves. Get a box of disposable gloves. Onion is gonna go right in that chicken. I know, poor chicken. Okay, and then you're gonna take the mixture that you made. I reach in and I stir it up, and then I just kind of, and you want to coat it really well with this mixture. You want to throw it on your crock pot like I tend to do. But you want to get these herbs on there really well. And that's where the oil comes in, and that's why we patted it dry, so that it will actually stick. Don't miss the armpits. Okay? Coat it down really well. And the reason I dip my hand in there is so that I can actually grab the herbs so that they'll stick onto it. All right, and you're gonna do the whole chicken this way. Both sides. All right, guys, so as you can see, the back is done, the front is done, and we still have quite a bit of mixture left. This mixture is gonna go directly into the bottom of our crock pot. That is what the bird is going to sit on. Now I'm gonna get a new pair of gloves, and we're gonna put the bird breast side down into the crock pot, just straight down. And that's so that the meatiest parts of the bird will be touching the hottest parts of the surface, and it will cook. So I'm gonna try to get the crock pot in this shot so you guys can see me doing this. So this is the breast side. Place it down. Now we're gonna put our vegetables in here. And the first thing I'm gonna do is put my onions directly on top of this bird. I sliced it, just left it in the rings. I'm just gonna set them directly on top. Now we're just gonna put the carrots and the potatoes around it. All right, guys, so I'm gonna pour my carrots in. Whole bag, just kind of around the sides, just like that. And then I'm gonna cut up my potatoes into chunks and do the same thing. All right, guys, for the potatoes, I'm using yellow potatoes. Cutting them into small chunks, just like so, and I'm just gonna throw them in the sides. All right, guys, so this is the chicken with the potatoes and carrots. I'm gonna take a little bit of olive oil, just kind of on the potatoes and carrots, just to give them a little bit, drizzle everything. And then we're just gonna cover it and let it cook on high for 6 hours. All right, guys, so I've had it on high for about 6 hours. It is well and done. As you can see, it's just falling off the bone as I'm poking on it. All my carrots and potatoes look good, and it smells delicious. So enjoy making your own rotisserie chicken.